Hello. Hi. Welcome, leaders. Oh my goodness. Making sure we are on time. Hi, welcome. Come on in. I'm so happy to serve you today. Let's see. I've got everything on. I have the mic turned on. Good. Yeah, everything looks good. Hi, welcome. Here's what's so fantastic about our meetups every single week. You have dedicated time for yourself, for your leadership development, for your growth and expansion. You have dedicated time every week to meet with me here because you value your growth. You value your development. You value your personal and professional growth. This is what we do every week. We set aside some time so that we can turn off our phones, the do not disturb on our phones. We close our office doors because a lot of us are on LinkedIn right now watching from our desktops. Good for you. This is professional development. You are deserving of this work. You are deserving of these trainings that we offer you every single week. I wish I had these opportunities when I was starting out in leadership or when I was a mid career leader or when I reached the CEO founder levels. I wished I had these kinds of trainings from someone who cares deeply about my success. I wish I had what we're doing for us leaders now, which is why we're doing this, because of what we didn't have, because of the gaps in the industry, because of what we deserve as leaders. And so here we are coming together every week to be able to serve the leader out here. I will say this every single time I come live with you. And we are live, by the way. So if you post a comment, I'm going to see it. If you give me a heart, a like, I'm going to see it. So we come live. This is live. And so we come live because we know that you are hard at work serving others, serving your communities, serving your organizations, serving your nonprofits, wherever you are. And wherever you are on the pipeline of leadership, you are serving. So we're here to serve you. Start asking yourself this: who's serving me? Not in an egotistical way, right, Amy? I see Amy is here. Not in an egotistical way, but in a way where we start looking at, well, how do I care for myself deeper? How do I find the growth and development opportunities that I deserve? Where are those opportunities? Because I need to serve myself so I can better serve others. That's what's important about our weekly trainings. And Amy is in the house. Amy says, if you sense a disturbance in the force, shut the door. Here are my glasses, Amy. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't, I'm having problems seeing things now. If you sense a disturbance in the force, shut the door and visit Dr. Denise. The time we take for us as leaders, we have more goodness to show up with for others. Can we please get we're going to need some love, some hearts, some likes, and some applauses here, because that's exactly right, Amy. And I'm so happy Amy is here. Amy and I have, and I share this every time Amy's on our lives with us, because Amy and I have had incredible experiences. She more than me, because she is so much further along in the techniques that we have learned, very elevated, sophisticated communication techniques that we help our clients with. And Amy is someone that I've learned from for many years, and who is, like I said, further along on the journey than I am. And so anytime I see Amy here, it's always wonderful, grateful that she is here. And so if you are a leader and you are here, post in the comments. Now, listen, we live stream on YouTube, we live stream on LinkedIn, and on my Facebook page, on Instagram, and my personal Facebook page. So we're everywhere, y'all. We're everywhere. And so if we're not seeing your comments, you may need to get permission from whatever platform you're on right now to post publicly. And so just want to make sure you know that. So I'm not ignoring comments. I may not be seeing them because you haven't given that platform permission to. So, but whether you're here live or you're going to watch this replay later, this is an important conversation. Listen, every time we bring you a topic, it is because it is necessary and it is timely. And today's conversation is just as powerful as the last 7 that we've had. We have them every single week, where we may now be consecutively, maybe our 8th. This could be our 9th live stream. I don't know, but we are here to serve you, and we are here committed to serve you. And so today's conversation is about the 5 leadership truths, insights I wish I had known sooner. Leadership truths. So if you're ready to uncover these truths that you're not going to learn in a textbook, that you're not going to learn in a college environment, that you're not going to learn in a graduate program, if you are ready, then you are in the right place. So I'm going to leave my glasses on. What do you say? Because I need to see my notes. I have this large screen over here on my right. And by the way, I have a puppy down here to my left. And so I need to make sure I'm seeing everything, including the comments that you all are making here. So let's begin with why this is so important. Let me move my tea aside because you all know me. I like to use my hands when I'm having passionate conversations. So why the 5 leadership truths? Now there are about 100 plus that I have thought of over the last week or so as I was preparing for our time together today, and I wanted to pick the top 5, the 5 most important leadership truths that you will not learn in a college textbook. See, here's the thing about leadership principles. I teach them every day. I even challenge these theories through my research company. So, Masters of Leadership Institute was designed to conduct research so that we can provide professional and leadership development to our corporate clients. This is what we do in the Institute. And so I take those principles and I challenge them through research. So I know about leadership principles because I teach them every day and I use them every day. But now truths, leadership truths, on the other hand, are hard earned and well deserved. Leadership principles, however, can be learned from a textbook. Now, listen, I have textbooks all over here on my shelves. I even have books from some incredible leadership experts that have done great work. They're all here. I study them as well. Now, you can learn them from the textbooks, but now truths, however, on the other hand, these truths are battle tested on the field with your followers. So you have leadership principles here in theory. They're nebulous, they're abstract, they're fluffy. Here's an example of a leadership principle. Lead with empathy. Sounds pretty, sounds wonderful, but now if we use it in the real world, how does this work out for us? If we bring empathy into the workforce, is this going to raise performance measurements? Is this going to provide psychological safety for our teams? Maybe, maybe not. So you take a principle and then you as the leader right here in the middle, this is you. Here are those beautiful principles in theory, fantastic. But here you are with a full mind. You are full of values, full of belief systems. You bring your personality, you bring your character to your leadership practice. And so here you are in the middle. So you take those principles, and then what do you do with those principles? You put them to work for you. You go battle test them with your teams. You go see if these are actually true principles. And sometimes these principles don't work out the best for you and your team. They're not proven through your work as the leader. But here are these beautiful principles. Here is some empirical research that some author has created and has, trust me, I do research, so I know. But now let's come over here. Are these truths? Did these leadership principles translate into what they said they were going to do? And oftentimes they're not. I'm the first person to say this as a public academic. No, because it depends on the leader, on their values, on their belief systems, on their personality traits, how they view the world, how was their character in times of challenge. And so they take those principles and then they work them. They're molding the clay with their team members. They're in the trenches with their people. And then we churn out some actual truths to leadership. So I'm not discrediting leadership principles. We need them. They're guiding principles. But now, we take those principles, we put them to work, and then we battle test them. And sometimes those principles don't add up. And so we then discovered truths because we've been in the field, because they're hard earned, they're well deserved. And so I want to talk about 5 leadership truths that you will not learn in a college textbook or a graduate program, or even when I was going through my PhD program. I learned lots of principles, but did anyone teach me some truths? No. No, because these were all in theory. So here in the Institute, my research company, our leadership training and development company, we take those theories and we marry them with practice. What's the point of a good theory if it doesn't work in the real world? Which is why these truths are so important. Now, listen, like I said, I came up with about 100, but I'm going to give you the top 5 today because I want for you to put these either into practice. This is either going to confirm what you already know, or this is going to help you understand why you are challenged right now in leadership. It'll confirm what you already know and hopefully give you a better understanding of why leadership is so difficult for you right now. So, leadership principles, leadership truths, and then we have the leader right here in the middle of both. And it is up to you as to how you want to translate those principles, how they work for you or not. Maybe in this very specific season in your leadership practice, some of these principles do not add up. They will not work for you. And then you come up with a different leadership truth that will work for you in this season. So this is why I say don't discount these incredible leadership principles, but I certainly want for you to pay close attention to the leadership truths that you're developing right now, because you are in the trenches, you are with your team members. But I'm going to share with you what I've learned in the over 27 years in the field of leadership. Not only a practitioner like you, but then later in my career as a researcher and academic and obsessor of leadership. So here are my 5 leadership truths. And by the way, you may have a bonus. A bonus. Yeah, you're going to have a bonus one coming up. So hang tight. So let's talk about this very first one. Let's get into it right away because I don't want to waste anybody's time here. So the first truth is choose compassion in the workplace. Leave empathy at home. I know this is going to go against what these leadership principles are telling you, what these leadership experts have said. I think I first heard about empathy when I was a graduate student. I remembered learning about this, the EQI, emotional intelligence, and how empathy was the way to lead. And so as I battle tested these principles and have come up with my own truths, and by the way, there's a lot more research supporting what I'm saying here today, in that you, as a leader, the most effective leaders that I have seen, that I have observed, that I personally have helped, choose compassion in the workplace and they leave empathy for their family members. Why is this important? Because there is a difference between empathy, leading with empathy, and leading with compassion. So when you think of empathy, you think of walking in the shoes of your followers' challenges, right? You take on their emotions, you take on their crisis, you take on their pain and suffering, leaving you clouded to make action-oriented decisions. See, compassion, you when you bring compassion to the workforce, to the organization, this is where we can move those heavy negative emotions aside. Remember what we learned in the last few sessions we've had, in that when emotion is high, logic is low. And the neuroscience behind that is because the amygdala hijacks the brain. The amygdala is the emotional center of our brain. And so when emotion is high, because you have fallen into the trap of empathy, it's like quicksand. There's no way you're going to get out of there alive because you are drowning with that employee, because you have taken on all of those emotions, all of their suffering, all of their pain, and you can't save yourself. You can't save your employee, much less yourself. There's no winning when you bring empathy into the workplace. So instead, what do? We're not robots. We're not AI. We actually have emotion. We actually care. And this is why compassion is best for being the most effective leader in the workplace. It is compassion. Compassion allows you to be action oriented. So you're still understanding the challenges that your employees is facing, but you are able to separate yourself because again, emotion is not so high and your logic has decreased. No, no, no. You know how the brain works and you know that compassion is best to help solve for problems and challenges in the workplace. Compassion is what a lot of and correct me if I'm wrong, any psychotherapist out here, but my understanding is that any psychotherapist, therapist, or counselors, they are trained to use compassion in their therapy sessions because empathy is going to drown them and their patients. And so there is the research and it's the neuroscience that tells us, yeah, let's not do that. And let's focus on a way we can be more productive, more helpful in helping our employees make better decisions and help them and help see them through these challenges. And so Amy says empathy can be akin to taking on others' stuff energetically. Yeah, which isn't useful. Compassion is akin to looking at someone else's stuff and noticing that I myself have most likely been there before, noticing without reacting or judging. So I can logically come up with a solution for the circumstance. Beautifully said, Amy. That's it. And so what you've learned in these leadership principles, and especially in emotional intelligence, Daniel Goleman has made a gold mine out of telling us that we have to lead with empathy. There are other components to emotional intelligence that are useful. The one construct within that principle, which is empathy, has always bothered me because I have fallen into the trap of empathy. I have fallen into the stories, the pain, the suffering of my employees. And so I knew that because of the experience that I've had in the workforce. Now, when you have an author like Daniel Goleman, who's wonderful, has done great in the emotional intelligence field, has a ton of commercial books. He's also a professor. Yeah, he's done great work. But it was this one construct that really, really bothered me. And then I had to go figure out why did that not sit well with me and my neurology. Because it's not that I don't cry myself to sleep at night. It's not that I don't feel pain and suffering. It's not that I don't understand what my employees are going through. It's just that I can't help them in that state of mind. And so, just like Amy said, you want to logically come up with a solution for the circumstance. And the only way to do that, here's the truth, is through compassion. So, that's number one, the first truth. Choose compassion in the workplace, leave empathy at home. Ooh, some of y'all may disagree, and I'm so happy to hear your beliefs on this. But These are truths that I'm sharing with you. And again, you take these principles, the leader then, eh, through their neurological filtration system, the way they see the world, their values, their personality, their characteristics, this will determine what truths come out of those leadership principles. And for me, that is one very important truth. Leave empathy at home and come to work with some compassion. Here's number 2. The best leaders are often skeptics. Save your cynicism for your in-laws. I had to include that one in there. The best leaders are often skeptics. Leave cynicism for whoever else. But in the workplace, as a leader, skepticism could be one of your strongest skill sets, being a skeptic. Big difference between these two types of leaders, a skeptic versus a cynic. By the way, I don't think we have many cynics in leadership, at least not those that I have served. Yes, I have worked under cynics, but in my leadership practice through my research company, we have skeptics. About 99% of my clients are skeptics. And here's why this is important. Skeptics are rooted in doubt, but the cynic, however, is rooted in disbelief. So the skeptic says, okay, I'm not going to take what you say at face value because I know how your brain works. I know how my brain works. I know about bias. I also know about your programming because I have some too. And I've got some bias too. And so you're telling me this. Now, as a skeptic, I am not going to take what you say at face value. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to get curious. I'm going to challenge your thinking. I'm going to challenge how you came up with that solution. I am going to question your assumptions and I'm going to seek some evidence. That's what a skeptic does. And that's something and maybe that's why I got into research later in my career is because I developed the skill of skepticism. Now, a cynic, like I said, the cynic is rooted in disbelief. Cynicism is a lack of faith in people. They question a person's virtues. It's a no, it's a closed-minded no. No way, that can't be true. You're a liar, and here's why. Skepticism, however, is a lack of faith in our assumptions. So you have the skeptic that is curious, open minded, while you have the cynic who rejects without investigating, without asking any questions. It's just a hard no. Now, how many of us have some cynics in our lives? Some family members, maybe? Some former clients, maybe? Some former, students in our classrooms? I remembered a cynic who used to sit right in front of my lecture hall, and this cynic every single day would not question me, he would shut me down and try to make me cry. And I wondered, "Why are you here? Why are you even in higher education? Why are you pursuing a degree? You are so close-minded." But we know the cynics in our lives, and we know them right away. We see a lot of them on social media. We see a lot of them canceling people for their beliefs. They just reject without investigating. They dismiss any alternative viewpoints. They assume the worst. So there's some cynics out here. Now the skeptic, like I mentioned, open to new information. The skeptic says, "Tell me how that's true." Or tell me why that's important because I don't understand. I'm not seeing it for myself. Can you show me some evidence? Can you show me some research that backs this up? This is why I'm doing today's training because I'm a skeptic. Because I took these leadership principles and I said, is that really true? Show me how that's true. Just because you conducted some research 25 years ago, and you think these leadership principles still hold up to this new workforce and the new way that we're leading. Let me see how that's true. And so this is why I'm doing what I'm doing today is because I am a skeptic, and it is important that if we lean towards the cynicism, this is my hope is that you move into being a skeptic instead. So that was truth number 2. The best leaders are often skeptics. Save your cynicism for your in laws. I'm gonna get in trouble for that one, maybe. I don't know. Who cares? Here's leadership truth number 3. Leaders who care the most are often the most self-centric. All right. I'm going to say that again because some of you may be cringing right now. Listen, these are truths. These are leadership truths that I have discovered for myself and what I have observed in my clients and other leaders. Leaders who care the most and are probably the most effective, I'm going to add that, are often the most self-centric. So when I looked at the definition of self-centric, I read independent of outside force or influence. And sure, there's another definition there, but I'm going to choose this one here. This is confirmation bias. This one fits really well into what I'm going to share with you. Independent of outside force or influence. This is a leader who is self-sufficient. And I know that leadership is relationships, and I understand that you need to have followers in order to lead. I know that much. But here's why leaders who care the most are the most self-centric is because a leader knows when there are gaps in their competency, gaps in their skill sets, gaps in strategic planning and execution. They have gaps and they know it. So what do they go do first? They go find somebody or find a training to close those gaps because they know that if they close those gaps, they can better serve their people. So we have to start with us, the leader, the nucleus. You are the nucleus. You're the core of this sphere that you're all these spheres that you're influencing, by the way. It's not just one. You have many spheres that you are influencing. And you are the core. You're the nexus. And so from this state, from this self-centric state, and it's not a narcissistic state, it's not a selfish state, it is a self-centric state. Where the nucleus, the core says, I've got to be better. I know I can do more. I know I have capacity for more. So now let me go do more so that I can be more for my team members and my organization. This is why this is so important. So the leader starts with, what am I deficient in? Yes, I have many strengths. Yes, I have many wonderful attributes, but I want to fill these gaps because I want to be better for my people. So it looks like leaders are selfish. Sometimes they look like they're, narcissists. Yes, question that, be a skeptic in that. But I want for you, if you are in this position where you are feeling very self-centered and that you're needing a lot of work right now and you're needing a lot of development, let me assure you that this is normal and it is okay because you have a capacity. See, here are your current abilities. And maybe you've maxed out on your current abilities. And so now you're looking ahead at the capacity that you have for more. That's on us because nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to do the learnings for us. We have to identify those gaps, and that's called self-awareness. And so when we have self-awareness, we're able to see these voids. And how do we fill those voids? Well, let me go find someone that can help me do that. Let me go hire a leadership coach. Let me get some leadership training. Let me show up every week to listen to Denise's leadership training on whatever topic it is. Let me help me fill that capacity for more. So that's our responsibility. And that may look like you're selfish, but on the contrary, you are just self-centric, my friend. Amy says, I work on my weak sauce because I'm not learning in any given context I may have that's weak. Yes, I'm not done learning. Exactly. We're not done learning. Now, listen, what's that saying? It's an adage that is interesting. It is new level, new devil. New level, new devil. And listen, every time I went from an aspiring leader into an emerging leader, into a mid-level leader, all the way into senior level positions, and then now a CEO and founder, I have had lots of opportunities for growth. If I hadn't developed myself, if I hadn't invested in my own learning opportunities and coaching opportunities, I would not have been able to move from one level into the next level. And every level, and listen, we're no different. Whether you're CEO, founder, or you're starting out on the leadership ladder, we're all questioning whether we're good enough for that role, for that job, to support our team members. We're questioning whether we have what it takes to be good. So it does not matter how high you go on that leadership ladder. There is always an opportunity because we start reaching these ceilings and we butt up these limiting belief ceilings because we've reached our abilities, and now it's time for us to level into the next level, into this next set of skills that we need to develop. That's where the capacity for more comes in. And so pay attention to your career trajectory right now and where you are right now. And are you butting up against some interesting challenges in your leadership practice? Does it mean we have to expand and learn some new beliefs, take on new belief systems, take on a new mindset? Are we looking at honing specific skills to reach that next level? So thank you for sharing that, Amy, because it's true. I'm not done learning in any given context, like Amy said. There's a lot that I can work on, and I'm still working on. This is why I have my own coaches and my own, my own trainings that I have to do for my growth and expansion. And so that was number 3. Leadership truth number 3: leaders who care the most are often the most self-centric. How fun! All right, leadership truth number 4: a leader's true influence is derived from their character, not from their personality or the donuts they bring to the team meetings. How many of you have had a leader where their personality is bubbly, pleasant? They bring in donuts, they're always feeding us, they're just so jolly. But when stuff hits the fan, their true character comes out. And that's when we really judge them for how they make decisions under pressure. When they're faced with adversity, their character comes through. This is why I don't take stock in personality tests. I don't care about your Myers-Briggs results. I don't care what your human design is, although I'm always curious. I don't care about your EQI. I'm not interested in personality tests because personality, I believe, are just thoughts you have about yourself. Now, here's the question I have for you. If that's true, if your personality are just thoughts you have about yourself, did those thoughts come from you? Did they originate from you? Or did you come to those thoughts from family members, from society, from what you've seen on the internet, what you've seen on Instagram? How many of those thoughts are actually yours? How many of those thoughts originated with your thought? Or is it something that you learned from your mother? Because mom said you weren't good at math, so you're a crappy, math taker. You don't bother taking those tests. SAT scores, forget it. You're never going to get into college because you suck at math. Oh, I suck at math, mom? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I got a C one time. And yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Well, why try doing math? I just suck at it. Or you had a leader who told you that you would never be a great leader. And so now that's running in your unconscious mind. Well, I'll never be great like him. Why bother? So personality, I believe, are just a set of thoughts that you have about yourself. And so then you go take a Myers-Briggs at 25 years old, and then you carry that label for the next 20 plus years. And then you tell everybody, well, I'm an introvert, I'm a whatever, whatever, which is what I thought for many years. And then there was another season, I took the Myers-Briggs and I'm like, oh, I'm an extrovert. Oh, I'm an extrovert today. Okay. But so I've been carrying this label for 20 plus years. Same thing with the EQI, same thing with, the human design. I mean, the human design is different, but the Enneagram and all these other things. It's like here we are labeling ourselves, and then we take on those personality labels, and then we're stuck in them like a prison. So this is why this truth, number 4, is so important. Let me reread it. A leader's true influence is derived from their character, not their personality. So leave the donuts at home, leader. Come correct. We don't, sure, personality is wonderful. We don't want an asshole at work. We want someone who has true character, who has built and developed their character through leadership experience, through the hardships, through the adversity. That's what I want. And that's what they're going to judge you on, your character, not your personality. So, leadership truth number 4, again, a leader's true influence is derived from their character, not from their personality. You will be judged, you will be evaluated based on your character through adversity, not your personality at work. So, Adam Grant, who's an organizational psychologist who I follow and have every single one of his books on my bookshelf, in Hidden Potential, his last book, he talks about the difference between personality and character. And personality is how you respond on a typical day. When the sun is bright, your employees are all there, and everybody is happy. While character is how you show up on a hard day, on the day where you have to lay off people, on a hard day when there is some external factors that are impacting the organization and your workforce. That's character, and that's what we're going to evaluate you on. And listen, I want a leader with true character who has developed themselves through adversity. I don't care about the donuts you bring. I don't care if you're taking me out to lunch. I don't care if you're throwing us a potluck for Thanksgiving. I don't care about any of that. And you shouldn't either, leader. Amy says, I loved the human design readings. I had tons of clients and students needing more naps after they discovered their reading was a projector, LOL. So this manifestor called that out, LOL. You're so funny. Listen, I love human design. Love human design. Love it. I'm a manifester. So you and me both, my friend. I think that's why we get along so well, Amy. And so Adam Grant, exceptional organizational psychologist, and I just wanted to share that with you. If you want to read more about personality versus character, there is a mention of it in his latest book, Hidden Potential. Now, are we ready for leadership principle number 5? I hope you are. And after we do this, I'm going to give you a bonus leadership truth. I think I said leadership principle. No, leadership truths. 5 leadership truths plus a bonus truth I'm going to share with you. Number 5, your results speak louder than your words. Results. Show me your results, and I'll show you the evidence of your mindset. Let me be very clear about this one. You show me your results that you've created in your life, either in your personal life, in your leadership life, in your business life. You show me those results, and I can directly connect them to the quality of your mindset, the quality of your belief systems, what values are driving those results that you created in your life. This is hard for some people to hear. And as a leadership truth that I have discovered and have helped my clients discover for themselves, is that we have values and belief systems, and we have these even our personalities there, our moods, our emotions, our habits are all driving the thoughts that we have every day about ourselves as leaders, about our own team members. I mean, listen, I will be the first to admit I have interesting thoughts about my team members. I have interesting thoughts about them. Some are easier to understand while others are a little more complicated for me, and it takes more effort, but I'm not a lazy leader, so I'm going to do what I need to do. But you have thoughts about yourself, and you have thoughts about your employees. And so these thoughts then fuel feelings. An emotion specifically is a neurochemical response to a thought that we then get to feel physiologically in our bodies as feelings. So you have these thoughts, then you have feelings that come up because of those thoughts, and then those emotions, feelings. We use those 2 words interchangeably here, but those feelings then fuel your actions, your inactions, your behaviors. And then those actions, inactions, and behaviors create results in your life. So we can reverse engineer. You tell me the result, and then I can make an assumption of the quality of your thoughts. an accurate, an accurate finding of the quality of your thoughts and your belief systems. And so that's the simplest way I can explain what we do in coaching is we take a result that you've created. Some of these results are incredible, by the way. Incredible results. Those are the results you want, then let's keep doing what we're doing. Let's keep getting better then. Let's keep doing the same things if you want, or add more things to that behavior list, the action list. But if you're coming to me because you've created a result that is unpleasant, unfulfilling, it's hurtful, it's painful, it's a result you created in the organization, in your business, well, then why don't we spend some time reverse engineering how we got there? And it'll always lead us back to the mindset of that leader, which includes their belief systems, again, their habits, their emotions, their moods, their personality, so many things that we need to take into consideration when we're talking about the mindset. So that's leadership truth number 5. Your results speak louder than your words. Show me your results and I'll show you the evidence of your mindset. So those are the 5 leadership truths. Remember, we talked about leadership principles. You're going to learn principles in a textbook. Leadership truths, however, are hard-earned, right? These are well-deserved, hard-earned truths. This is what we've learned in the trenches, in the workforce with our teams. Now, I did promise a bonus truth. Are you ready for the bonus truth? Because this one I was not going to include, and I thought, let me add a little spin to this truth. Here's the bonus truth. The best leaders carry the Serenity prayer in their back pocket. Let me read that again. The best leaders carry the Serenity prayer in their back pocket. Now, what do I mean by the Serenity prayer? It's the Serenity prayer that is used in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. The Serenity prayer says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We've heard of the Serenity prayer, whether you believe in God or not, whether you've been to AA or not. The Serenity prayer is about control. So 3 very important values that this Serenity prayer says. Serenity is the first one. The second one is courage. And the third is wisdom. So what it's saying to us here is that grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Now, let me ask you all leaders, what can you change? Can you change politics? Can you change your mother-in-law's thoughts about you? Can you change what your kids do when you're not watching? Can you change others' beliefs about you? Can you change what your employees think about you and your leadership practice? Can you change anyone but yourself? We can't. We can't change anyone else other than ourselves. So the serenity that is required, that's the peace, that's the tranquility, that's the understanding. I'm here to influence because that's the best bet. I'm not here to manipulate. I'm not here to abuse my power. I'm not here to micromanage. I'm not here to force people to think and do things that I need them to do. So as a leader, I have to understand serenity is here. And guess what? I'm the only power I have is to influence the situation. And even then, I can't control how they think about me. I can't control their actions. And so I have to trust in my team. And so I'm not going to worry about the things I cannot change. That's why this serenity prayer is a shocker to some of you out here. So again, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage, however, to change the things I can. Okay, leader, so what can you change? You can change some beliefs that you have about yourself and your team. You can change your leadership philosophy. You can change your attitude. You can stop bringing donuts to the team meeting and actually show up with some character development. You can go and get leadership training and coaching and close some of those gaps. Here's what you have control over. So you have the courage to change the things that you can, is what this prayer says. And then the last thing is, and the wisdom to know the difference. So you've got serenity here because you can't change these people. You've got, wisdom over here because, or I should say courage over here, because here's what I can change. Here's what I cannot change. Here's what I can change. And now I need the wisdom as a leader right here in the middle, the wisdom to know the difference between these two things. So it's the wisdom that I want. It's to remember I'm here to influence. I'm not here to force people to think and do and behave in certain ways that please me. No, my job is to influence them. So we can't be lazy leaders. We're going to have to actually do some work around here. So this is why this bonus truth is so fun. I thought, let me add this and let me do a little twist to this, because I wanted to add something about control and how when we leaders, and let me tell you something very personal. I probably, not probably, I got into leadership because of the lack of control I had in my personal life. I got into leadership. I sought leadership opportunities very young. Remember, I was a 19-year-old Bath and Body Works store manager. Someone gave me the keys to the kingdom, and I had no business leading at that time. But I wanted to escape the life that I felt I had no control in. So put me in leadership so I can have more control. And then I soon realized, oh, it doesn't work this way. Oh, okay. I can't control circumstances. I can't control people. I can't control what they do. I can only control what I do, what my behaviors are. Okay. Wow. I got into leadership for the wrong reasons. So I found out very quickly I was in leadership for the wrong reasons. But thank goodness I stayed, because here I am now sharing with you the leadership truths that will make an impact in your leadership practice. So let's go through those really quickly, and then we're going to wrap up our time together. So number one, the first leadership truth I shared is choose compassion in the workplace, leave empathy at home. Compassion versus empathy, two very different things. Compassion is best used in the workplace. Number two, the best leaders are often skeptics. Save your cynicism for your in-laws or whoever else. Number three, leaders who care the most are often the most self-centric. So the next time someone says, you're such an egomaniac, you're a narcissist, you're only thinking of yourself, if this leadership truth resonates with you, you can say, no, actually, I care deeply about my development, and I care deeply that I fill these gaps, and I want to do better because my team deserves better. So I'm self-centric. And that's a leadership truth I'm going to take with me. So that's going to be your defense. Number four, leadership truth is a leader's true influence is derived from their character, not from their personality. So leave your donuts at home. Do not bring them into the team meeting, because we care mostly about your character. Don't be a jerk in the workplace. We don't want a jerk as a leader, but the character is how we're ultimately going to evaluate your performance on. Okay, and then leadership truth number five, your results speak louder than your words. Show me your results and I'll show you the evidence of your mindset. Yikes, that may hurt some folks. And then our final bonus leadership truth is the best leaders carry the Serenity prayer in their back pocket. Great, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Amy says, wise leaders control themselves. The unwise and unlearned leaders control and burn themselves out. Isn't that the truth, Amy? My gosh, so many leaders talk about burning out, right? They're burnt out, and they don't have control of their mindset. They don't have control of their leadership philosophy. And the philosophy just includes their beliefs about themselves and others. And here they are hustling their minds out, working their asses off, and they don't feel fulfilled or any passion behind their actions. And so they come to me and say, I'm burnt out. Well, of course you are. And so Amy makes a good point. The unwise and unlearned leaders control and burn themselves out. And then Amy also says, control freaks in recovery make great leaders. Yeah, I listen, Amy, if you're in that club with me, I'm looking for a vice president, because I'm the president of that club. That I am a recovering control freak. Yeah, just look at my behaviors and the things that I can control. Ooh, can I? Ooh, and successfully I can. But that's all internal control. Cannot control anyone else outside of me. So very good. Amy, thank you very much. And for those that are joining us, for the replay, thank you. You're going to get a lot of great information from here, from this session. I want for you to take these truths, confirm them for yourselves, or come to me and question them. You can be a skeptic. These are the truths that I have learned for myself, personally and professionally, and what I have observed in coaching hundreds of leadership clients and students. And so there are so many more truths, but because of the time we have today, I could only give you 5 plus a bonus. But if you have one that you want to share in the comments, please do that. Do so. I want to learn from you and hear from you as well. So thank you very much for your time. Amy, as always, love having you on our lives. And for those that are going to join us for the replay, thank you for your time. And we will see you next week. We're on again next week. So I'll see you all then. Take good care.